Hello, welcome back to the channel. It has been quite a while, but anywho, we're back today with some paper bros, hoping to get into some more regular posting and uploading and everything else. We are playing with the wedding blooms, the little die cuts that you just saw. They are out of the 1.1 wedding blooms. This, I'm going to fix the focus on this one in a second. Bear with me. There we go. That is the spring blooms, and we've got the the wedding blooms basics 2.0. So die cuts are out of the 1.0 collection. This is the 2.0. This is the basics. So they're a little bit more. They're still the same gorgeous colors. You find in like this one here. You find this other. I haven't actually had my hands on it for a little while, but these, you've got the basics that are going to have more stripes and standard sort of patterns, whereas other ones you've got a little bit more of pictures, that sort of thing. Do you get my drift? I hope you do. Anywho, I also have the cross stained glass die. That's the white one that you can see here. I am going to cut it out of three pieces of cardstock, and we're going to lay them up together. It's going to give a little bit of dimension. It works really well later on. Won't say too much, but later on. This was my theory. It's not going to end up like this, but this is my theory. Spoiler alert. So I've got the three all die cut out and laid on top of each other, and then I've glued it onto the chevron matte piece, and this is the spring blooms. As I said, I'm going to stamp it down in some black Copic friendly ink, that's my jam. I like to colour. It's very therapeutic. Today we're talking about complementary colours. So this is colours that are opposite each other on the colour wheel. So this is all about knowing the rules. I say rules loosely. I'm not a professional artist in the sense of I colour. I don't make up, I don't draw my own things. I like to watercolor images. I would love to get more into other watercoloring, but I don't do that at the moment. But the color wheel gives you the guidelines, but it also teaches you what's going to happen when you break those rules. So if you're using watercolor and you use two colors that are opposite each other on the spectrum, you're going to get like yellow and purple. You're going to get a muddy color. Okay, I am using this yellow red color combination to make it a little bit darker. Now the B99 is quite dark, but I'm just going to give it a little bit of depth. Officially, I'm playing, and this is what I want you to do. Play with your colors. Test it before you stamp out a color and make it all pretty and color it all in and sort of go, you totally stuff that up. You know what I mean? But using complementary colors can give you a little bit depth to your images when you don't have a deep enough color. Like the B99 is probably quite deep enough, but I wanted to play and I wanted to see what happened, and I wanted to get the feel again of playing with my Copic colors, because this is why I have not been around. Now, if you've been on my channel for any length of time, I'm going to stop right there actually. This is not always me. This is me I don't need to justify myself, but I would like to let you know I'm pretty much an open book of why I haven't been around. Nothing major, don't get me wrong. If you've been on my channel for any length of time, you will know that I sold my house. I'm still currently in that house. Settlement is now it's been brought forward. It's going to be the 1st of July. But I I don't know, call it stress, call it everything else that sort of led to the extra problems. I got sick after sick after sick. I lost my voice somewhere in the between, like completely, and ended up in hospital with my first major asthma flare ever. So, and that's taken me quite a while to get back. I will still cough every now and then. So hopefully we won't have a problem with that today. As she just paused it to cough. I'm using these colours down the little, okay, I'm not a flower person. I love to look at them. I appreciate that they're gorgeous. But knowing my flowers, knowing the types, I know a plumeria, which is commonly known as a frangipani, especially here in Australia. I don't know about anywhere else. But we've got a couple of flowers here. One sort of looks, I could be totally wrong, tulipy. Another one looks daisy. So I've added the darkness down the center, or where things are overlapping each other. We'll get back to that in a minute. This is where I'm going to bring in my V25 for my yellow combination. Now, this is very light. I have accidentally, annoyingly, packed up my charts. So I was looking for a combination, because I write down things that I come across, things that I like, color combinations that I like, and I've packed it away. So when I came in looking for a gold, sort of, the wedding blooms are sort of, they're a darker blue than this that we're using today, but they also have that beigey, goldy color. So trying to find a color combination for that when I've been sick, no energy, you get my point. I did find I find this color combination on who is she? I'll leave a link down below. Beautiful colorer. What I want to say in this sort of thing is the fact of, don't stress it. If you don't know what colors, Google plumeria, Copic colouring. Google, I don't know, giraffes, for heaven's sake. Anything like that. Anything that you're wanting to colour, Google it and see what you can come up with and see what you can find. So I like colouring to be no stress. And some of that is writing down my colour combinations so I have it for a quick reference, or if I really don't want to think too much, I can look at my folder and pick up a combination and just go for it. I don't use it all the time, but I use it quite a fair bit sometimes. Depends. Like now, I've got no mojo because I've been so sick and nothing's been happening. You know, so it's a great resource for you to have. So getting back, so my flowers, anything that is like petals, I tend to do a little bit, depending on the style of petals and how they've been drawn, down the center of these longer, skinny, more, not quite daisy shape, not daisies, but you know, that shape, I will do it down the center. Things like again, I don't know if they're tulips, I don't think they are, but down the center is going to be darker because this is going to be where the shadow, the sun's not going to hit it quite so much. Veins in leaves are going to be darker. I'm going to see that very shortly when I get into that. I've just found a couple of images that needed to be colored that I forgot. Petals. I'm using 2 color combinations for my greens. They come out very, very, very similar. You could change it, obviously. So the first one we've got here is YG67, YG63 and 61. This has been used a little bit on thinner ones, but mostly on the thicker leaves. Now you could put more of the 67 in there because the next combination is very, very light. And making it darker, as I said, down the center of the leaves where the vein is going to be, it's going to be darker, and also where it sits underneath a flower. The next combination that I'm going to use, as I said, is very, very similar, so you don't need to play around with it, but it's also a combination that you can carry it away, and maybe you don't have the 67s, maybe you have the next colors. So I like to, I don't know, show you everything and tell you everything, what's and all, so to speak, in the sense of these colors are very, very similar. So these ones are G24, G43 and G20. Now they are super light, which is why the 67 could easily go darker, and because they're so tiny, it doesn't really, it's no stress. We don't want to stress. E37 and E15 are my center of my flowers, and I am using a little bit of stippling with the colors. I was going to go a different color, and then I brought in my 37 to make it a lot more darker than what I had, and that's my image all colored in. The last thing I've got to do is basically my white, and this is just going to add to my dots because there's lots of stamen in the center of it and it's all gorgeous. This is going to give it a little bit more interest, and that's it. Cut that all out. With a lot of the embossed die cuts, with all of the embossed die cuts, they have a little shiny piece to it, and it's not over the whole thing, hence it's embossed. So I'm mimicking that a little bit with my glossy accents, and I'm doing a line here and there up the petal of the flower. You don't see it too much on camera, but you do. There's a lot of dimension there. I'm going to pull out now this card, and the card that I've got for you tomorrow is quite busy for me, frankly, in the sense of they're gorgeous papers, don't get me wrong, I like the cards. I've in the past sort of gone a little bit more plainer. I'm a plain girl, what can I say? I don't wear a lot of patterns. I don't do a lot of fancy things with my nails or my hair. I suppose I do with my nails. Can you see the glossiness in that? Just when I was cutting that up, that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. Does that make any sense? I hope it does. It has a little bit of fun texture. You can sort of see it as I cut it, and it moves with the light. Just trying to get my placement here, and I'm going to use this happy birthday pack. Now there's so many sentiments in here. Best wishes, congratulations, thanks, happy birthday, all that sort of stuff. You can read it there, and it is in gold, silver, rose gold, black and white. So the white on with black writing and black with white writing. These you will use so many times. All of these packs are really awesome in value, and they're so easy to use. Paper Rose also has a sentiment strip where you can die cut that out and trim that down, but I don't really know where my sentiment strips are, the die for the sentiment strips. I know they're here somewhere, but so we just sort of cut those out a little bit by hand. I've raised that up with some foam tape. You see it's a lot darker color, but this is going to help sort of make my center, my center stand out a little bit more. You don't sort of see it too much. It's just going to fill it out a little bit more. I finished this all off. I put the sentiment on there, and I just thought it's way too busy for me. I wasn't liking it. Now, if you like it that way, then awesome. But each their own. So I decided to carefully, I'm talking about this sooner because there's a little bit more involved in it. So I've used a craft knife and angled it to be underneath the die cut. And I've trimmed that all off. So I have damaged my piece, but you're not going to see it. I've tried to be very careful with angling it, is that the right word? Underneath the die cut. Any marks are going to be actually underneath and it's going to be hidden. So I've glued that down, added a little piece of white on the back, and I like that so much more. So that is my card for today. I hope you're well. Take care, and I will talk to you very, very soon.